Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Women Who Rock with Success Media, an award-winning show for professional women and men. Since 2014, we have provided a voice for entrepreneurs in the areas of business, marketing, advertising, public speaking, lifestyle and wellness coaching, arts and entertainment, fashion designing, interior and exterior designing, and sports. Our guest experts provide the latest information in their field while creating an educational resource for our listeners and viewers. Join us each Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Time, followed by our latest brand, Women Who Rock Investigates. Now, let's go to the studio, where our session is already in progress with your show host, Mrs. Diane Winbush.
Women Who Rock with Success complies with the rules and terms according to the Federal Communications Commission podcast guidelines. The views and opinions expressed by our guests are their own, and their appearance on our digital media platforms does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. All guests who embrace our media stations are experts who are licensed in their fields of occupation. All rights reserved.
So good morning once again, everyone. This is our second episode of Women Who Rock with Success for those that are tuning in for our second segment of today at the 10 o'clock hour. Happy New Year to everyone. This is our second show for 2023, and the first show and segment that we had, we, of course, talked about those business taxes, getting everything in alignment, getting everything structured and organized, and we talked about so many things, and we had a wonderful guest that was on the show. And so this segment, we're going to be talking about transforming for success for 2023. And so a lot of times when it comes to business, we need to perhaps maybe organize, reorganize, adjust, readjust, and then we may have to make some tweak our business plan, our mission, and what have you, so we can make sure that we are successful. So who's going to be in the studio with us today is going to be transformational strategist, and she's going to be Karen Rudolf. And so after this commercial break, we will be back with you in a moment. And good morning, and welcome, Karen, to the studio.
Good morning.
Okay, great. So we have already went with the audience and told them what we're going to be talking about today, transforming for 2023 for success. And we also shared with the audience already that sometimes we have to readjust and adjust, and then we have to be able to kind of sometimes tweak some things around for our business. So you're the professional, you're the expert. That's the reason why we have you here. So good morning and welcome to the show once again.
Good morning, and thank you for having me here.
Okay, great. So tell us a little bit about you first before we get started, so the audience and myself can be able to learn as to why you wanted to decide to transform other entrepreneurs to be able to make their businesses successful and professional.
Well, when I was, after I had gotten divorced, I hadn't realized what I was going to do or who I was going to become, and I was floundering around. And as I started transforming myself from a victim mode to an entrepreneur, I thought, well, if I could do it, anybody could do it. And why not start with being a healer? Why not start with healers and coaches? I can relate to that. So I've made it a lifelong mission to shift that energy around transformation in the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, the holistic of a person.
Okay, great. So share with us a little bit about Tranquil Solutions. So explain the topic and the title and why you chose that.
Tranquil Solutions was actually a download for me. And my girlfriend was in advertising in New York, and she said, Karen, that will never, ever fly. And I said to her, that's like stripping me down naked and telling me my name isn't Karen. That came to me. And for me, there's so much significance in the world that we could approach anything with more of a tranquil, a peaceful, relaxing ability to find solutions to the questions we have, because there is always, everything is workoutable. There's always a solution to every problem.
Okay, go. Were you finished?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, great. And so thank you so much for that. So now here's one of the questions, or here's one of the areas where a lot of women, whether they are going through life experiences, challenges, or whether they are an entrepreneur or not, sometimes it can be challenging for women to become stuck. And then sometimes it can be hard for them to not get out of that situation. So this is one of your nuggets and one of your strategies that you use to be able to help women to be able to thrive out of that. So talk to us a little bit about that. And then also, it's a two-pronged question, Karen. The next part of the question is we want you to be able to help women to not procrastinate because, okay, so let me share just a quick story with you. Had an individual back here, I don't know, 2014 or something like that. She said, okay, I want to be a guest on your show. I said, okay. Signed her up and everything, got her ready, and then I think she had a mentor that was with her as well to be able to help push her along. But she got cold feet at the last minute, and so that was a procrastination moment for her. She felt that she could not be able to do the 30-minute interview, just to talk, just to, tell her story or what have you. And so we want to talk to women about that today. It's about the stuck mode and how important it is for women not to procrastinate.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're procrastinating, you're in your head, and that's not going to serve you. So for myself, what I do before I get on any show or any presentation or facilitation, I take a moment and I get still. And it's called reset. You're resetting your emotional state, as it were. Some people dance. Sometimes depending what I'm doing, I'll get on my little trampoline and I'll dance because it gets me out of my head. It gets me back into my body, and I remind myself of what my intention is. And my intention is always bigger than me getting, let's say, on a podcast or a show or a live stage. And when I'm doing that and I look at it and reframe it, I'm able to look at it differently and just do it. And if I remind myself, it's just a conversation, I'm not, it's not like the world is going to fall apart if I don't do it. The world is not going to fall apart if I do it. So I might as well just do it and get the experience. And it's like driving a car. And I always use this in reference with my clients because most people can relate to the car, right? If you're looking in the rearview mirror, right, that's the past. It's going to keep you stuck there. And you're not going to move forward at all in anything in life. You're not going to get to the destination you want to. If you're moving forward and looking at the front view, right, you have a whole parameter around you to look at and enjoy it, right? You're going to enjoy the journey as you're going to it. But it was like when you were young, if you remind yourself of, maybe you were sitting next to your dad or your mom and you were nervous as crap because, you had to put the key in the car. Which do I do first? Do I put on my strap or do I see the mirror? Right? Well, the more you do it, you get in the car now, you don't even think about it. And it's like anything else in life, it takes practice. The more you do it, the more confident, the more comfortable you're going to be, and the more you're going to progress. So one of the tips that I give my clients is stop, change, and shift. I like to use it, and I tell them, put it as a sticky note on your bathroom mirror, whatever works for you. Many people, you're finding this, whatever works. These are the little tips and tricks that work, right? So when you become a client of mine, I automatically send you a gift in the mail, and one of the gifts I sent is a dog leash. And they go, what? I don't have a dog. And I'm like, okay, it's symbolic. It's the symbolism, right? Many people know what it is like to walk a dog. Who's walking who? Right. Is the dog walking you, or are you in control and are you going to walk the dog, right? So when you stop it, you're being pulled by the dog, let's say. You're stopping the action, the stop portion of it, and you're saying, whoa, time out, I'm in control here. I'm the leader of my life. pause, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're stop changing, right? You're changing the action. So I'm turning towards that dog, pat, 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 right? Thank you so much for sharing, and I know you're here, and I love you. Pat, pat, pat. But I'm in control. I'm going to be in control. I'm going to change the energy to the shift. What do I want to shift into? So maybe if it's procrastination, it's like, is it serving me? What can I do to shift that energy? Because everything is energy. And what can I do to shift that energy that's going to get me moving forward? And sometimes it's a baby step. Maybe it's a toe in. Maybe it's a whole big giant step, but it creates momentum, whatever you're doing with it. And momentum is energy that keeps you forward moving. Momentum. And
Okay. Great. A dog leash. Wow, who's the one that's controlled? That's powerful right there. I like that. Okay, great.
Those
okay,
little things.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the next question, and it may be a challenging question. So, you talked about a little bit about your divorce and what have you. So we want to flip that. We want to flip that. Take, for instance, here's the challenge questions. You have two high-powered professionals. They start out the business together, owner, co-owner, and what have you, but one decides to divorce the other one, not in a marriage, but in a business. So how would you be able to curate that with the other business owner as to how, because a lot of times, Karen, people make a lot of bad mistakes, especially when they are, partners in a business. They're networking together. They know all of each other's, business secrets and strategies and what have you, but one decides to branch out on her own, and she decides to divorce the other partner in the business. In order for her, the other partner, to be able to maintain the mindset of tranquility, what are some of the strategies that you would like to offer to business professionals if they are going through something where they maybe have to transition, they have to be alone? Well, I had this partner perhaps was the brain. They was the brain of the business, and now I'm left alone, and, I don't want to become stuck, but what do I do? So could you be able to share with us, some of the strategies that you would offer to a client in that perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. It always gets down to communication. But before the communication, right, there's a difference between reaction and being reactive and being responsive, right? Responsive is responsible. What is the intention? And what we get from lead is, or is it irreparably nature? Okay, then what I'm going to say, what's your next intention? Like, what is that? What do you want? Most people don't know what they want. They're very reactive, and they just react accordingly. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Boom. Good on you. Have a nice life. If you can keep it amicable and have a conversation, most people don't know how to communicate, sadly. When you get into a space of communication, it's for the highest good of you both, right? It's not a me conversation. It's a we conversation, not an I conversation, a we conversation. So, we've come to this conclusion. This isn't going to work anymore. What are our next steps? What's going to keep it amicable? So maybe we can still be friends, or maybe we could still. I'm a huge collaborator. Chapter 2 of my book is all about collaboration. And for me, I used to do life alone. So I'm a solopreneur, but I have coaches. I've invested a ton in myself, and I have accountability partners. So I am still not doing life alone in essence. I mean, this is my business. I'm the leader of my business. How am I going to be responsible for my business? How am I going to respond in kind? So if I get stopped or stuck, I immediately, right, biblically, asking is given, knocking the doors open. If you don't ask, you're never going to get anything, and you'll never get any place by yourself. So I always find myself asking questions. I will ask maybe numerous people the same question and then come to my own responsible communication that feels good to me. It's got to feel good. You got to tap in. Your feeling is your internal GPS system, and that's going to be your guidance system.
Okay, great, perfect. Okay, so here's an entrepreneur that's or a professional that wants to be able to connect with you with your brand of what you offer for women, and perhaps it's going to be men, or what have you. So what are some of the initial intakes that a client, a potential client that comes to you, how do you make sure that you all are a match? Because, when it comes to coaching, sometimes, Karen, individuals, they expect ROI, a return around investment overnight. They look and they try to, look what she's doing, and look what this coach is over here doing. She got them 3,000 followers, or her business is accelerating over here. And sometimes individuals do not understand, professionals especially, do not understand that, coaching takes time. The person has to be able to wait it out and make sure that they're sticking with the brand and what have you. But a lot of times, as I spoke with another coach back here, I think a few weeks ago, a lot of times some coaches just go in there and they take the money. Okay, we'll get you the return on investment, but they're not the right fit. So that would be the next question. In regards to what you offer for so many individuals, so many professionals, business owners, and perhaps, I guess maybe Christian leaders or what have you, what are some of the intakes that you make sure that you and your client are a good fit, and it's just not something like it's pouring water on a duck's back? Well, you're going to hang and you're going to dry, or you're going to get wet and you're going to dry, and I'm just going to leave you over there in the corner. And some professionals, I'm serious, Karen, they do that. They'll sit there, take the money, and know from the beginning that they are not a good, because some professionals are looking for speedy results. But if, I would take the time to, to tell the individual, look, this is going to take time. You can get you a hot cup of coffee and sit down and wait for a minute. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Exactly. And you know what? I've gone through numerous coaches. And what if I have a moment to tell like a short story too? I have just a quick speak of my own experiences. When I was after my divorce in 2007, I went out looking for a coach because I didn't know what direction I was going for. I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know what to ask for. And I got a gentleman coach that was in the holistic field. I knew I was a healer. I didn't know which direction I was going. I didn't know anything. So I didn't even know what questions to ask. So I was coming like fresh off the boat, so to speak. And he was one of those people that hired me immediately. I mean, I hired him immediately because he gave me a good bill of goods, and I didn't know one bill of goods from the next bill of goods. So everything is a learning experience, right? I never everybody does things differently, number one, right? I thought at one point I went to, as I said, I've invested a bucket load in myself because I know I'm worth it. And if I don't invest money in myself, I'm never going to get further. So I went out and I hired Oprah's coach. I didn't have a pot to piss in, but I hired Oprah's coach.
Wow.
I went to a program. I went to a program in California, in San Diego, and Oprah's coach was standing on the stage. And I thought, if it's good enough for Oprah, it's going to be good enough for Karen.
Okay.
And I hired her. And I live in the East Coast, right? So make it relatable. That was the lesson. Make it relatable and make it personal. So I hired her. She was she did hypnotherapy as well as coaching, and she was telling me what to do, and it didn't feel good. And then after the first month, and I invested all this money, and I was still paying it off after the fact. She says to me, do you want to hire me for the next month? And I said to her, no, it just didn't feel right. I don't want to be told what to do. I want to be guided, and that's what I do, and that's what I pride myself on. I guide you making your own decisions to empower you, lift you, to be the wind beneath your wings, so you're doing it at your speed, at your speed, velocity, and at your capability, right? So I've gone on and I've hired a few coaches. As a matter of fact, my last business coach decides to up and leave. I've invested a ton of money with her. She up and left. Did I get value from her? Yes. Does it feel good? Heck no. But you know what? I've learned a lot. I picked myself up, and it's like next. This morning I was on the phone with another coach, a new coach. I want to be accountable. I want to be moving forward in my business. So I always have a coach. Actually, I have two coaches presently. I have an energy coach as well as a business coach, and I have accountability partners. So how I differ, how Tranquil Solutions and Karen differs from many of the coaches out there, I create relatedness. Without relatedness, nothing works. I want to know that we're going to be a fit. I want to know that you're willing to want to do the work, because it takes work. And if you're not willing to do it, I've been known to fire clients. I will not work with you unless you're serious. Don't waste my time, and I'm not going to waste yours. And I'll give you your money back. I'm not here. Yes, I mean, I make a living doing this. This is my vocation, my business. This is what I've chosen.
Right, your baby.
For a living. Yeah, and it's a labor of love. I'm passionate about what I do, and what I do differently than most, because I've been educated in the mental, the emotional, the physical, as well as the spiritual. I'm a minister as well. I look at, and I have a nursing background, I look at how for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. How is that action going to react in your body? How is your body going to react to that? Are you going to be aligned with what you say you're going to do? So I look at the whole, I call it, if you look on my website, it's with a W, holistic, the whole of the person, mind, body, spirit, and I come from that space. And usually, energetically, those are the clients that naturally align with me. So those who are coming with me already have that attraction and that magnetism to want to work with me. And as I said, I work a lot from the field of energy and alignment. So, yeah. It's fun.
Okay, that is great. I'm going to be honest with you. As long as we've been doing coaches, and we have a lot of professionals, actors, and all of that on the show since 2014. You're the first one that have actually admitted that you have a coach while you have your own coaching business. Wow, that's my first time ever hearing that. And I think that is so very important, because while you are giving out energy to others, you're going to need someone to give energy back to you. Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's how that works. That's how it works.
Yeah, and that is so awesome. So you all hear that, right? You all just heard what she just said. She just said that she has two coaches. She has two coaches and some others on her staff where they, where she makes herself either accountable, they are accountable to her, but she actually has a coach too while she has a coaching business. Wow, that is so very awesome. Guess what? We're going to be talking about her book, and it's called Ignite the Entrepreneur. Now, that is going to be powerful. So we want to talk about that, Karen, and then we also want you to be able to kind of give us some of the takeaways as to what you expect your readers to be able to grasp from your book, and perhaps what the audience can be able to grasp from it as they decide, well, hey, look, we're going to go and we're going to purchase this too to see if we can be able to thrive whatever we are doing, and so we can maintain, and that's the very important thing. We can be ignited, but we need to maintain, and so that's what you also share with your clients as well. So talk to us a little bit about that, about your book release.
Yeah, and I got another book release coming up next week, so I'm really excited about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
go ahead.
So, well, first and foremost, my first book was 5 Ways to Create a Ripple, and that is on Amazon, and I think it's come down to like $3.99, whatever it is. 100% of that proceed goes to Operation Smiles, because I talk about the anatomy of a smile in Chapter 1. Chapter 2, I already talked about collaboration. And it's basically an introduction to not just who Karen is, but how I got over my hump to begin with when I started my journey. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. Then I was asked to do a collaborative book called Ignite the Entrepreneur, which you're talking about. And we all had a chapter in there, and there's a beautiful little picture of me and my horse. My horse has taught me many, many, many lessons. I've had 2 horses that got struck by lightning. And in a spiritual context, yes. So we all have a story, right? Everybody has a story to share. But in that story, there's that ignite moment, that one moment in time that shifted your energy and said, "This enough. This is like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm going to do something different." So when my first horse got struck by lightning and died, I was sad because we were so connected. I was so connected that was my end-all be-all. And I went out and I got another horse years later, and he gets struck by lightning. And my spiritual mentor, on top of having a coach, I also have a spiritual mentor, spiritual teacher. And every week I'm on the call with her. So I keep myself lifted constantly, right? I do have downtime. I love my downtime. But when you're igniting yourself, you're not just igniting yourself, you're igniting the world. So if I want to create a ripple out there, and that's what inspired me to write 5 Ways to Create a Ripple, was because my clients were saying, "Oh, I want to help people in the world, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, I want to help others." Well, you can't help others until you help yourself. So you've got to clear all that negative energy and the stories you've been carrying around that no longer serve you. So that's what that book was about. This one was about each of the collaborative authors, their ignite moment, that one moment in time that said, "That's it, enough, I'm doing it." So the takeaway from that book is we all have a story. We all started someplace. And what are you going to do with that story to take you and lift you to the next level? So you'll really walk away reading that book in more or less a space like, wow, anything's possible. And then on next Wednesday is Wickedly Smart Women, which is going to be launched. And I'm co-author on that one as well. And we share our stories in that as well and expand on the stories a little bit more, but more around intuition. So that whole book is women, wickedly smart women that have run their businesses and their lives intuitively, as I have, and our stories around there. And in that book, I'm going to be sharing about my near-death experience. And after having 2 near-death experiences, I believe those of us who have had that kind of scenario, we're here to serve on a higher level. We've been brought back for something bigger than we know ourselves to be. So when I get, as you spoke earlier about wanting to procrastinate or get lazy, and it's like, no, I'm here for a purpose. I'm coming back, man. I'm like, not giving up. So that's what that book's about. So,
wow, that is so awesome. Karen, thank you so much for being with us today on Women Who Rock with Success Media. You have shared tons of information for the business owner, for the professional to be able to transform through anything, how they can be able to overcome anything. And this is just not through business, it's through lifestyle as well. You have shared so much of that with us. We would love for our audience to be able to follow you, Karen, after the show. So be able to share with them, if you would like, your social media links, where they can be able to find you on your website, and where they can be able to find your books.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you, and thank you so much. I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Gratitude, you know what? Can't live without gratitude. So I'm on all social media. I'm on LinkedIn as Karen Rudolf and Tranquil Soul, SOULUTIONS.com. I'm on Facebook at Karen Rudolf, RUDOLF. Most people spell it wrong, but it's S like Frank. Tranquil Solutions on Facebook as well. I have Instagram accounts for Tranquil Solutions, Tranquil Coach, and my website is www.tranquilsolutions.com. And the book, all the books are going to be on Amazon right now. If you go to my Karen Rudolph page, the link is going to be up there today because we're starting the launch for next week. So you're going to be seeing a lot of that on there, as well as my upcoming free masterclass, which is all about mixing the chakra balancing with voice, right? We need to learn to find our voice. That's the healing If you don't have a voice, you're going to end up with thyroid problems. You're going to end up with all sorts of health problems. So we're going to shift that energy in that class. Feel free to sign up. It's complimentary. I'm always giving back. So follow me and see what's possible.
Okay, great. Again, thank you for being with us on today. Listeners, follow us at the top of the hour at 11 o'clock, where we will have our next guest on the show, and it's going to be talking to professionals and business owners about retirement after retirement. Wow. We're going to need a rest after that one, right? So thank you once again, Karen, for, I don't know why I want to call you Sharon, but thank you once again, Karen, for being with us on today on Women Who Rock with Success Media, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
A blessing. Many blessings, and thank you so much.